Hello. Hello. Welcome, everyone. How's it going today, Chuck?
Good. How you doing, Brian?
Oh, I am doing all right. I'm realizing that I've got you over here and you're a little further over than I'd like you to be, and that's just unfortunately how things have to work.
Oh
Oh,
dear. I'd scoot
yeah.
over if I could.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I could move you over. We could do that. Little swappy do. But then you've got issues and, it's fine. Oh, so we have a mission today.
We do. We do. This isn't as casual as we usually are these times.
Yeah, I mean, I like being casual. I think it still is a little on the casual side, but we want to do something specific today. It's
We have
this,
Yep.
the GitHub Actions hackathon from dev.to. There is a hackathon going on, a virtual hackathon over the course of the next few weeks, I think. And I'll post this over in chat. But um, it's a really interesting thing where they want to have people make actions, GitHub actions that are very useful to maintainers, to open source maintainers. And I think that's a great goal, right? Open source maintainers actually have it pretty rough in a lot of ways. And so we want to help too. So we've got an idea to build out as well, to see if we can make GitHub issue comments from Algolia search results. But if you are interested in taking part in the hackathon, definitely check out dev.to. A lot of great prizes. Some looks like every participant gets a sticker pack, so that's cool. I always like stickers, and dev.to has some great stickers. So yeah, we've taken some notes ahead of time, so we're not just wandering aimlessly. But we kind of walk through like what could we potentially do for a challenge like this, and utilize Algolia in a fun and interesting way, make maintainers' lives a little bit easier. And we kind of landed on this idea where if somebody leaves an issue on a repository, let's say it's a big open source repository, and it's like a question about how something works, or maybe it's a bug report, but they've already gotten multiple bug reports about this, or they have multiple questions about this this specific issue. I'm sure that maintainers get tired of answering the same thing over and over again and saying, "Oh, go look at issue number 85 if you want more information on this."
Closed as duplicate.
Closed as duplicate, indeed.
Yep.
Easiest way to fix a bug is to already have fixed it in the past and just mark it as closed. So our idea is to index a repository's issues, and then when somebody creates a new issue, do a search based on the title and find the 2 or 3 most relevant topics, and then post those issues back into the comment as a comment on the first issue, and then of course index that issue as well. So it seems like an interesting and possible idea, right?
I love it. I think it's awesome. I think, any support site worth its chops these days, right? That has that sort of functionality built into it, whereas you are putting an issue in, it's going to let you know, hey, there is some history here. And I think it's awesome to add that to repos as well, take some of that load off of the maintainers.
Yeah, and I mean, really, issues are meant to be a good like bug reporting system. They're meant to be an issue reporting system, but they don't have this sort of functionality. You can do search in it, you can like do some text search, but there's no automated method for that. And so I think that this could be a boon to maintainers everywhere.
Yeah. And people in chat, if as we're kind of going along, if you've once seen sort of like good versions of this pattern on different sites, like we're certainly looking for sort of ideas. And if there are pieces of this that you're aware of already, or that maybe you wrote yourself, let us know about that as well as we go.
Yeah, because we're definitely not gonna hand code everything here. We're going to take advantage of a few other one other pre-made action from the ecosystem, right? And then Chuck has put together a small GitHub action for doing some ingest work. But I suppose first we should kind of walk through what we think the scope is for this and like what we need to get done. So really we're going to have one workflow, and it's going to have 3 jobs inside of it. One is needing to ingest the current created issue. That's probably the last step, honestly, but it's the first step in our notes because we have to have a data source to kind of go off of. One is a get related job where we do the search and then get back some number of other issues that pair up nicely with it. And then finally, we need to write a comment on the issue based on that result. So workflow job 1 and workflow job 3, we've got some cheats and some hacks for, right? We don't have to necessarily handcraft those right now. Workflow job 2 is really where we're going to spend a lot of the time today, but the other 2 are important too, and setting up the workflow for them can have some hiccups for sure. And then we've got some ideas for next steps, and we've got some ideas on what we need for the issue payload. We need to send an issue title, the body, potentially labels, although our add record currently just sends the string array into our index. So we'll work on fixing that as we go as well.
Type awareness is important, but you got to have the content too.
Exactly. You got to have a little bit of everything. Anyway, so I think we can kind of get started looking into things. We have a repository already set up. It has a README and nothing else. So we're going to be doing a lot of handcrafting there. Like I said, we've got Chuck's add Algolia record, and we have Peter Evans' create or update comment, which is just a way of posting a comment to an issue or to a pull request or to, I think, really anything you can comment on inside of the GitHub ecosystem. I'm going to use the word ecosystem way too much today. I can already feel it.
There's worse words. Ecosystem's a good word.
That's true. All right, so why don't we go ahead and at least set up our ingestion workflow on this, because we already had that, and we might as well get that job up and running.
Right. And we should do the caveat right now, right? That obviously, like as with any Algolia index or any place where you're doing an ingestion, there's going to be a step where you're probably going to ingest history, right? It's probably not an index, or I'm sorry, a repository that just was now birthed, although ours is. So we're gonna skip that sort of ingest of history, but obviously there would be and maybe eventually we can write this as well, but there'll be some sort of mechanism for hitting the GitHub API, pulling that stuff down into JSON, and then ingesting it into an index. But we're going to skip that step for now.
Yeah, it'd be actually pretty cool to be able to do that in an action too, but that feels a little bit, an action's more of like a repetitive thing. Like you want it to be able to fire multiple times, and having it fire on its own inception feels like it's an odd thing.
Yeah. That said, we could write a piece of JSON and you could use it either way. That's the cool thing.
True, very true. Yeah. So I guess what we need to do is we need to set up our workflows and our jobs. And now, Chuck, you set up this workflow for the add comment. Can you kind of walk me through some of the boilerplate for getting this set up?
Sure.
I can Google it, but you're here.
Yeah, no problem. So the first thing you need, obviously, for any action is you're going to want to make sure that you have the appropriate event that's triggering it, right? So in this case, we want to make sure that we have our, and I'm stalling a little while I kind of pull mine up so I can look at it too while we go. Right? So I guess we should start with a name, right? That'd be a good place to start.
True. I'm currently in the README calling this overall the GitHub recommended issues bot, but we can certainly name it whatever. And we need a .github folder, right? Or is there something I can do besides that?
Oh yeah, we can create a GitHub folder, and then obviously you're going to need a workflow directory underneath that.
And in fact, like I feel like I should just go ahead and push this up, and we should do this inside the GitHub UI, or would you think doing it inside of the code editor might be a little on the better side?
I mean, we could play fast and loose and even try and command dot it, right? Try the new VS Code online editor. I'm a little terrified of that, but However you feel
Let's
most
see.
comfortable, Brian. Why don't you drive and I'll backseat
right.
I'll backseat drive.
Well, I guess let's just set up a completely new workflow, right? And so when we do that, we get a lot of stuff for free, which is really nice from the GitHub UI. So yeah, we need to figure out a name for this, and this is the one all-encompassing piece of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So issue bots, related issues.
I like related issues.
All right, related. I'm gonna do dash
Yeah.
related
Yeah.
issues. And then we have a whole bunch of boilerplate already kind of given to us here. Let's see, basic workflow. Do we actually put the name here for this one overall?
Yeah. I'm gonna try and make this a little bit bigger, looking at your screen through here.
Yeah, I can also zoom in a tiny bit here.
Yeah, that might help because it's a little yeah, okay, so let's see. So yeah, very first thing we need is we want a name for our workflow. So we do
Yep.
a name colon there. And then
Related
underneath that
issues.
we need our trigger. Yep.
Yep.
On issues.
Because this is all push and pull requests. We don't want that. So we want, let's see,
Issues.
so issues, and then that is a YAML object, which is always white space in some way.
Mm-hmm. And then we need to define the types of issues that we're interested in.
And that's an array.
Yes, it is.
Right,
And I
so
think for
YAML
now,
array is like this.
yep.
Okay.
And then and I think you need to maybe tab it in.
Okay.
I don't know how much tabbing matters, but let's tab it in. And then we're looking for opened issues. Right. So now we're only going to run for whenever a new issue is opened.
All right. And let's see, allows you to run this workflow manually from the Actions tab. We don't want that.
Nope.
And then we have our jobs built out.
Yep.
And each job can have multiple steps. We don't need much of what's going on in here. We can run it on Ubuntu. That sounds fine to me. Sound okay to you?
That seems great.
Yeah. And then this first one is actually, I think it's going to be irrelevant. So by default, it says, hey, you can check out the current repository into this action. I don't think we need that, right?
In our case, we don't, because we're not actually going to be doing anything to interact with the code. We actually are interested in just GitHub itself. So everything we're going to be doing is going to be around the events and GitHub interactions.
All right.
So,
and so
which is
now,
interesting to me because honestly, almost every GitHub action I've done up to this point has been something around sort of manipulating the repository.
Yep.
So taking that out felt very strange to me the first time I did that.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and maybe scaffold out our 3 jobs because we need to have 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to change the name of this one. So it's not build. It's let's have this be our ingest.
Sure. Add record maybe, or ingest is fine.
Add record. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine either way. Naming's hard, right? So we got an ingest job, and then we need a related
search.
Search sounds good. Make sure I've got this lined up properly. I think I do. This also runs on Ubuntu latest. Oh, typing's hard. And then it needs steps as well. I'm just going to have the same step over and over until we actually flesh it out more.
Sure.
So, all right. So this will be hello world. Oh, you don't like that? Oh, it's not indented. Ugh.
Yeah.
What? Honestly, who thought white space delimited coding and was a good idea?
I like
hello
it.
world from search. This is hello world from ingest.
Yep.
And then we need our third boilerplate, which is comment. Runs on Ubuntu latest steps. Wow, typing's hard today. This will be name. Run a 1-line script, and then run. I like how instead of copying and pasting this time, I just had to type it.
Yeah, man.
Comment.
It's artisanal.
All right.
And crafted.
So theoretically, ads related issues, boilerplate. Theoretically, we commit this, and then when we create a new issue, it'll run those 3 jobs. Each one right now is just executing 1 line of code.
Yep.
If we've done our job properly here. New issue. I feel like we should like have issues that sound relatively like issue-like instead of like our testing ones, so we can test later on against search.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I think if we're not doing historical ingest, these first couple we can play around with, and then we can get more serious once we know that they're actually getting into the index. Man, what we need is we need a GitHub action that just creates issues with Chuck Norris quotes, right?
True.
I
also
feel like that's
probably
more important than this one. No.
But yeah. Although, is it a maintainer must-have is the question, since that's what Dev2 wants.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah. Although looking, what were the other categories? Right, there's
there was IoT, right?
Yeah. Phone friendly, wacky wildcards. There we go. It's a wacky.
There we go. There we go. You got to have. Actually, that's an interesting thing. If you can go back to our repo, our lovely repo. Here we go. Okay, and we're out of the workspace editor. Well, let's do this first, and then we'll go back into the workspace editor.
Isn't working on my stuff. Mac OS 10.10.1 and VS Code something else. I don't know. I've lost that thread.
Yeah, I wish like if it was Ubuntu, we could have said like Blue Owl or something like that, right?
True. I mean, we could also at some point, like when we're testing this later on, we can go grab some issues from some repository somewhere too, and test them out. Let's submit this and see if our workflow works. So we go back to actions. We can see if it runs. It is running. Well, it's queued. We have 3 jobs. Excellent. They are all going to run concurrently as soon as they find various bits. So let's see. Hello from ingest. Hello from search. All right. We wrote all that decently. Oh, complete job.
Yeah, run the 1-line script is what we want.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Where is everything? All right.
Yeah.
So that works. So the next thing that we need to do is, do we want to go ahead and maybe add a comment using Peter Evans' commenter?
I think that's an awesome idea.
Okay. So let us go back to our workflow file.
Cool. Now, isn't there a mechanism? I remember something where you can actually search for existing actions.
True. Yes.
On the right side. I don't remember how that worked. Is that maybe if you click on?
I think it's in the actions area. Maybe.
I think if you're editing your workflow, if you click on the pencil, I think you get like a right sidebar.
Okay.
We're just kind of winging it here, but
yeah, exactly.
There's a method to my madness here. If we can get this to come up.
No, I would absolutely like to not have to write this from any source. Okay, edit button.
Yeah, so let's see.
Okay, marketplace.
Marketplace. So firstly, importantly, before we do anything else, we got to do our Chuck Norris search and see if there's a Chuck Norris action.
Norris. Important. Chuck Norris quote.
Oh, there you go.
Although all it does is create the text. What you do with the text, completely up to you.
Yeah, we would have to chain that into our issue creator or something. So,
which I mean, it would be probably outside the scope of today. But
if you want your pack of stickers, go build us this. And
go make us an action that will create issues for us
with Chuck Norris quotes. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's not what we're looking for. What are we looking for? I forget.
We want the commenter.
Oh, that's right.
Where are you, Peter Evans? Create or update
comment.
There you are. 188 stars. All right. So we want to. So this is an entire workflow. We don't want the entire workflow, right? Which is fine, although I can't actually scroll within here.
Oh, can't we? Can we copy that and then paste it in? Or do we not?
Oh, look, yeah, we would put it as a step,
yep.
right? Okay, yep, we can do that. Do I need? I can get all this, copy, and then that will replace this
copy
one.
button is prime DX.
Exactly. All right. Except for, hold on. Let's try that with a shift. Nope. Indentation is like the hardest thing in these online editors.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, what even is happening?
I think you got
Bad
everything
things.
but
Okay.
the comment.
Yep.
There you
go. Oh, he's got all these comments in here.
Yep.
All right. So
you're
we'll have to figure that out. So many pop-ups. Let's see. We don't need repository, right? We'll need an issue number.
Yeah, repository. If we look at the action itself, it'll default to the current repository, which is what we want.
Excellent. And then pop-ups go away. All right. Don't need edit mode. We will need the body. Oh, there's the pop-up thing is really messing up my day here. I understand I've got errors. I'm working on fixing them. So we do want the issue number.
Yep.
So we'll have to find that. This is really harder than it looks. Do we need a comment ID?
No, that's if we're doing an update.
Yeah.
So we're doing a create, so we don't need that.
We don't need a reaction type, although we could make a reaction and that'd be fun.
We could.
And we will need a body. And the body can just be a string, adding this comment. All right, so we need a token of some sort of user.
We may not actually need the, well, unless we want it to be someone other than you.
The owner of the so the owner of the repository will default in there. The GitHub token will get that. Oh, perfect.
Yes. So I think that was yeah. So I think we can actually, if we want to be lazy for now, we can take the token out, and then later on, if we want to create a bot user, we could do that.
Do we take out the token or do we leave it as this?
You just take the whole thing. You can take the whole thing out. We can try leaving it like that and see what happens. That might be good. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Let's use the context. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and then
I feel like that's number. Always better to be explicit, right? When you can be.
I 100% agree. And like otherwise, you're like, wait, where's the user coming from on this?
Right.
All right. So issue number is what we need to get from our
event context.
Yeah. Yes. So that's going to be syntax is escaping me right now.
It'll be GitHub. I'm cheating a little. I'll be honest. GitHub event.
Event.
I got the docs up here. Issue. Dot number.
All right. So now instead of running one line of code that echoes in, this will actually post a comment theoretically by the repository owner. In this case, it would be me on this repository. So let's add
one more thing we need here.
Yep.
This, because we're actually manipulating an issue, we're going to need some permissions.
Okay.
So that goes right under runs on at the same level.
Runs on. All right.
So permissions. And then this is going to be an object. So come down a line. And we need issues permission. So issues. Okay. Colon right.
As a string?
Yep. Just the word right. No. Oh, yeah. I just have it. I have it bare. But YAML.
Yeah, I'm not.
Could be a string, could not be. My impression, everything that I've seen in these workflows, it feels like everything gets treated as a string.
So far, like when we were experimenting with stuff, it definitely felt like I was like, I want this to be an object, and you're like, no, it has to be a string, or a Boolean or a number, right?
Yeah, but we can't have like JSON or YAML. You can't build nested YAML.
It'd be nice.
I think this is everything we need. Oh, did we put a comment body? What did we put in the comment body?
Yeah, right now it just says adding this comment.
Adding this comment. Okay,
we don't have anything yet, right?
Yep. Sorry, it was just below. It was below the end of the screen for me.
Add comment functionality from Peter Evans.
Thank you, Peter Evans.
I feel like, isn't that the actor that played Quicksilver in X-Men?
Which one? Right, there were two
Well,
Quicksilvers, weren't there?
in the Fox X-Men.
In the X-Men. Okay, yeah. Sorry,
In the yeah.
the actual X-Men.
All right, so let's go ahead and add a new issue. We want what's a server side thing we can talk about, Chuck? Back end thing.
Oh, how about thread timeout when accessing database?
Accessing
MySQL.
database.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put MySQL in there so we've got technology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thread timeout occurs when I do a MySQL data thing.
Right, and we're using Alpine.
Using Alpine.
There we go. Great.
All right, now let's go watch the action, just in case things blow up.
Let's
We
go to
could
where
have
the
just
action is.
exactly. We could
Sorry.
have waited and seen if the comment magically appeared, because it actually appears like in real time after it's done. But it's interesting. I think it's more interesting. Come here and see. Comment created on issue 2.
Let's see.
Andy. All right. Issue 2. And look. Oh,
Perfect.
look at that. No, actually, that's better. This is better. This is GitHub Actions. It is a bug.
Yeah.
That's way better than what we thought. I like that.
Right. So, because I feel like in the old, when we tried it the first time, we didn't have a token in there at all, and so it defaults to you. So that must be what happened here.
But that's weird. But yeah, no, we have a bot that is now commenting on the issue.
Love it. That's perfect.
Like, and we're only like 30 minutes in. That's nothing. So let's go ahead and, I mean, the fun thing is we've now created 2 things that I was like super worried about, like writing stuff about. We have no ingestion, right? So let's figure out ingesting our issues as they come in. And then we'll figure out the step workflow that we need to go through to do this in the right order.
Yeah, I love it.
So your action isn't in the action marketplace yet, correct?
No, so mine, I just kind of whipped it up the other day. So it still needs a little bit of maturation before I would be willing to share it with the world, but totally willing to share it with the world.
Yeah.
I got to say, if you're going to write an action from scratch, you could do worse than starting from Peter Evans' framework.
Yeah.
The way he builds the actions, the way he sort of makes them self-documenting, and also if you dig into his actions, he has workflows for the actions themselves around doing updates to libraries and doing testing, which I think is incredibly valuable, especially if you're going to share yours in the marketplace. So I haven't done that piece yet. I mean, we're DevRels, so testing's the last thing we do. We're definitely not test first people. But once I get that in, I would be glad to share this in the marketplace. Really quick, before we dig in, Brian, if you do a search for Algolia in the marketplace over there on the right, you'll see there are actually some actions out there. I kind of went through a lot of these, and they all kind of follow the same pattern, which is essentially do some sort of build that generates a JSON file and then ingest that JSON file into an Algolia index, which is very typical. But that's more of a static content way of doing it. So that I actually kind of wanted to go and build one that would go in real time, add a new record to an existing index. So that's the difference between mine. If you're doing that pattern of, hey, you can see there's a Hugo one in there, Jekyll. If you're just essentially trying to index static content, those would probably do just fine for you. But for our use case, again, because we're not dealing with the contents of the repo, we're dealing with events within the GitHub ecosystem. Is that what the word we're going with today?
Ecosystem. Yep.
Ecosystem.
I feel like we're gonna have a counter, and then like
So if you're working within the GitHub ecosystem, then it makes more sense to have sort of these atomic additions to your index. Cool.
Exactly. All right. So we have a job called ingest running on Ubuntu, and we have steps for that job. And so we're going to have a step that is...
I think first thing we need to do is we need to reference my little piece of script.
Okay, and we're doing that on the job itself?
Right. So if you go, you can cheat by going up to Mr. Peter Evans. You can get the format for that. It uses...
See, we put that actually within the steps of it.
Oh, I see. We're still in the job. My bad.
So let's see. Let's just copy and paste that, and then we'll change out the things that we need to change out.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that makes the most sense. So the name of this will be ingest issue.
Yeah, I've been saying like add Algolia record, but ingest issue is fine.
Add Algolia record. That is more explicit, and as we said earlier, we want to be more explicit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we're going to use Chuck Meyer, right?
Yep.
Not Chuck M. Okay.
Chuck Meyer. Yeah, on GitHub, I'm Chuck Meyer.
Add Algolia
record.
Okay. I had that up there, and then we have to have an at, right?
Yeah, and right now we're at V0 for this one.
V0. Okay. So we have a name. It's using your script over in your repo, which I'll post a link to. Can I post a link? I know you're not like ready to share
Sure. I
the
mean,
marketplace, but
you could recreate the link, right? It is exactly what we
true.
just referenced. And that last
Exactly.
piece for folks that might be new to Actions, that last piece is just that could be a commit. Like I think on Peter's, it was a commit hash, and then on mine, I actually just created a tag. But you can reference a commit hash, a tag, or a release. But it seems like GitHub Actions is very emphatic about pinning to a specific release.
I mean, it makes sense because you wouldn't want to like that would like release. It basically gives you that sense of security that it's not going to have the action pulled out from under you, right? Like
Yeah.
it's probably safer this way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we don't need a token for this.
Nope.
We don't need an issue, and we don't need the bot. Well, we'll probably need something, but we don't need that specific one. So, do we have a width on this? Suppose I can look at your documentation, right?
You can, yeah. You can look at my README.
Yeah.
And so I've put it in here, and I've given a little bit of info about the different components here. This should be very familiar to anyone who's done anything with Algolia, right? So you always need an app ID. You always need an API key. And that's going to be one that has, in this case, right, we're writing records. So it needs to have some sort of write permissions. So you could use your admin key. We would discourage that. We would encourage you to create a new API key with write permissions to the particular app or index.
Yep.
But in this case, I think you've already got those in your secrets, I believe. Or am
I do. I do already have these. I cheated and went ahead and put these in so I wouldn't have to do it live on stream because that's a great recipe. Yeah. And then, so the index name, we decided, and you could maybe you saw it in our specification doc earlier. We decided that could just be the repository name, like super easy, no need to get fancy about it. And then we actually need an object for the record. So what is this object actually? It's not actually an object from YAML.
No. But real quick before we do that, just to reemphasize, so sort of the decision that I came to was a single Algolia application for all of your GitHub repo indices, and then each repo being its own index, right? So then you can query each one, but they are in a shared app, which Brian pointed out, right? What was your concern with that?
That like at that point, if you rack up a lot of issues on one and a lot of search activity on one, that could hamper and bloat the search. I've lost the words, Chuck. The words are gone. Search activity, the search requests for all of your other ones too. You basically rack up a bill for one or all of them together, and it would be more than what you might expect from just one repository.
Right. And or you don't want to get throttled either if you're running on the free tier or whatever. You don't want one to kind of hit all your other ones. So that's something to consider if you're going to use this pattern. But for us, we're going to do just the single application, that's one key in our secrets.
Yep. I mean, the great thing is for anybody who's looking to spin this up, if we actually get this all the way to the finish line, you can make that decision on your own too. All it requires is in each repository these two secrets, and you can choose whatever you want. So you could make it repo based, or you could make it one big application for all your repos. And I think that either pattern is a good idea depending on your use case.
Just like any other place you're using one of our clients to ingest data. But to get back to the record here, so yeah, this was a fun one for us to kind of think about. You can see there from you asked the question, but it was kind of leading, and anyone who knows
Yep.
YAML can see that pipe there. So this is actually just a really long string, but it needs to be a valid JSON object.
Yep.
Algolia lives and breathes on a diet of JSON. But the
delicious JSON.
delicious JSON. But you are 100% responsible for building out the stringified JSON. And I tried to build in some guardrails in the action itself, and we can look at that later if we want. But to throw out a good error if the JSON doesn't parse properly, but you must get this JSON record right. So the bad news there is there's a lot of footgun ability here, but the good news is tons of flexibility about what you're putting into these records, right?
Yeah,
So
which means in the future, if we decide we want to add another piece of ingestible data, or somebody else has an idea for doing that, all they have to do is change their workflow, not the action itself.
yeah, great example. I went through all of the event context, and I could not find a place where GitHub exposes the creation date of an issue. So because my hope was that I could just simply pass along from the event the creation date, and that way you could prioritize based on age of issues, etc. I couldn't figure that out. But what you could do here is you could theoretically put like a date stamp step above this that goes and retrieves the current date time, and then inject that into the record as an additional attribute.
And that wouldn't be too bad.
It wouldn't be too bad, but again, like this isn't baked into the action itself. So you could put whatever you want in here to enrich this data.
Yeah, like originally when we were kind of brainstorming this idea, my vision of it was actually going to be like that lived over in this other thing. We passed the entire issue payload over to the script and then handle it there. But this is way more flexible. It allows for on-the-fly changes, which I think can be, honestly, you could even be ingesting your pull requests, and you could even be doing searches based on the title of the pull request and some of the content there. So there's a lot of cool flexibility that this brings into it.
Yeah, you'll notice at this point we're the payload that I kind of built out here, it's just the title. So we're not even ingesting the bodies. Who knows what people are going to put into those issues. I didn't want giant records. Remembering that Algolia records can only be so large, and if they're any larger, then you need to build logic to split things up into multiple records and then dedupe them as you're doing the queries and all of that.
I mean, one would hope that the body of an issue is not exceedingly long, but if somebody's posting like an entire like code block that's 1,000 lines long for whatever reason, and it's the internet, right? You can't really trust anybody not to do something horribly long.
Hey, here's my core dump.
Here's every folder in my node modules folder.
Right. And
my entire package.json
and my secret token. So anyway, so we kept it simple for now.
Yeah. So then we can pass this on in some way, right? I guess we don't need to pass this on for the moment. This is ingesting, and I already have the index set up. So theoretically, when we commit this and I make a new issue, that new issue will get ingested, or we'll get an error, which will be equally fun.
Yep.
So let's go ahead. So let's say this adds job for adding Algolia records.
Add
issues. All right. Add that in. We'll go make a new issue. I kind of want to delete these now, but
why don't we close them?
Can you duplicate?
Ooh,
no. But yeah, let's close these. Yeah.
Mark
as. Yeah.
And then this is going to be the first one for our index. So
our first truly indexed. We say that, and something's going to go wrong. But
I'm just being confident, man. I'm just being confident here.
Let's see, Algolia instant search does amazing things. No error. Just they wanted to raise an issue to let you know with React in Next.js. I'm just basically keyword stuffing it so that we can see how search works later on. And as you just pointed out, our action right now doesn't ingest the body, so I'm just going to leave the body blank because that doesn't really matter. All right, and now for the fun, we go back over to our action. We see what happens in the ingest step.
Dun, dun, dun.
Waiting for a hosted runner to come online. Oh, add Algolia record. No error. record created with object ID 3. So we got an object ID back from Algolia. That's exciting. And we have an index over here, which started with nothing. There were no indices in this application. Now we should have an index, and that index should have a record. GitHub issues search bot, which is the name of our repository.
Yeah.
With one record. We still have to fix that at some point, the array string.
Yeah.
But we now have something that has a title and a URL.
Cool. And do we know why this is object ID 3?
I'm guessing that in your code, you're basing the object ID on the issue number.
Boom. That's right.
Nice.
So you can actually see that in the record, I believe.
Oh. Oops, where was I? Index Algolia. There we go. So yeah, object ID is 3. And then, oh yeah, issues 3. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can see how that ties together. That's a good optimization to make sure that we manually set that object ID just in case we want to do updates later on.
Right. So, and if you have any other GitHub action later on that needs to somehow interact with this, like maybe you are going to index comments separately, or you're going to do something else against this, it's nice to have that matchup. You always want to have your data in your Algolia index match the unique identifier that you're using for your source of truth.
Yep. All right. So literally, I'm going to say halfway there, right? We got two jobs, but one job's not completely finished yet. Our ingest job, however, is done.
Ingest is
We're
done.
ingesting. Now we need to search, and we need to then write the comment based on that search. So right now we have a commenter, but we don't have that like getting anything from anywhere else.
No, none of these jobs know what the other jobs are doing right now.
Exactly. So let's go back in and let's re-edit. I should just leave this workflow file up.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go back to it every time. I just get excited and I want to go put an issue in. All right.
I'm right.
So
that's the first baby step into open source. Cutting an issue.
Put the issue in. So we have the ingest job. That's done. I wish I could like inside this, like minimize it. That'd be super handy. GitHub, pay attention. There's a UX tip for you. Oh yeah. Collapsible. Heck yeah. Collapsible. I suppose I could command period.
Are you gonna
oops, that minimized.
Oh wow.
No one pay attention to all the horrible files on my desktop.
Were you trying to do jump over to VS Code?
Yeah.
I think you have to be in the code interface. Well, I don't know, because theoretically
nothing. It's like command or option period, right?
Period. Yeah, it should be command period.
No, nothing. Anyway, we'll keep working on this. It's fine. So next we need to figure out what we need to do for this search step. And I imagine we need to make a new action, an external action to do this.
I agree. Yeah, I think we want a new action. I think we can base it off of my add action, because a lot of the things are going to be the same as far as making an Algolia client. And then we're going to need different inputs, and we're going to need different outputs, and we're going to need to switch over to a query. But I think we can mostly just kind of start there.
Okay.
Do you want to build this on your side?
If you'd like to build it on your side, that'd be fine, or I'm happy to do it on mine. The beauty of our streaming platform right now.
I know. I'm trying to think. I like having you driving. It's fun. And then we can each have one of these in the marketplace. But the nice thing is, if I could put it next to this one, then I can kind of mature them both together.
Exactly. Okay. So why don't I'll clone this and then make my own repository based on it.
That sounds great.
All right. I suppose I could fork it, but I don't want your history. Get out of here, history.
Oh, you don't want my history.
Clone that CD into add Algolia record. Actually,
do issues follow a clone? I don't think they do.
I don't know, actually.
I don't think they do.
This will be search Algolia issue search.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Right. CD Algolia issue search. All right. Oh no, things are moving out in weird ways. There we go. All right. I like how, because of your VS Code settings, I'm getting additional stuff. Look at all that.
Oh, Peacock, man. I love Peacock.
Yep. I don't actually have it set up. I've always meant to set it up.
Isn't that a beautiful color? I love it.
This one is nice. I like this one a lot.
It's like a burgundy. I don't know.
The other thing I cloned from you the other day had this like really bright blue, and it was a cheery color, and I liked it, but it was way too bright against the VS Code theme that I've got. This one is lovely, just lovely.
Yeah, I let Peacock do its own thing.
So we'll say this is, what do we call it? Algolia issue search. It starts at 1.0. The
mine was
get related issues from issue bot index. I don't care much about all that other stuff, but we do need to go ahead and npm install because you've got a few things.
Yeah, we gotta get that client in there.
Yeah, we've got.
Do we need to do a dev install to get NCC as well?
I don't believe so. That should just. Yeah, I think
because you've already got NCC. Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
NCC is so clutch for this, by the way.
Oh yeah, like no one. I wish GitHub had something their own to do this, right? Like this is Vercel's actually, right? Like this is at Vercel NCC, which is again good on Vercel for doing that and for making it completely open source like that. But like the best way to run these actions is to make this flat structure for all of the node modules and all the dependency graph, right? GitHub, get on that. Like,
yeah,
I hope they're at least supporting NCC in some way, like helping Vercel maintain it or something.
Yeah, because it's just being able. The first time I ran it, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get the Algolia client into my action? And it's just you just run NCC, it flattens it all out for you, and then you just run it out of the dist. It's awesome.
So yeah, the two main dependencies we've got are the GitHub Actions core library that gives us some stuff that comes in from the action, and then the Algolia search JavaScript client. And this allows us to do writes and searches and really anything that you can do with the Algolia's API, you can do inside the Algolia search JS library. And then we've got a few other things happening. Don't care about the VS Code. The dist is where NCC is going to package everything to, if I remember correctly.
Yep. So right now we got to remember that that's the old build. So if we
in fact,
we don't, let's clear that out
just in case.
Yeah, that happened to me last night. Actually, I was tweaking around and I was trying to add, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I was trying to add the output piece of it, and it just wasn't showing up, and it wasn't showing up, and I couldn't figure out why. And it's like, oh, I never rebuilt it, and I don't
you got to run package.
I know. I got to get my pre-commit. Got to get my pre-commit set up on that.
Can't you just do that as a node script, as an npm script?
It's possible.
No, not for right now. But
yeah, let's save that for another day. But yeah, I think that's good hygiene. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And then of course run all those tests I didn't run. I didn't write. I mean,
pass with no tests. So let's see. And then we've got index.js, which is where most of the things are happening.
Yep. Our two big files are index.js and our action.yaml. Action.yaml is like the meta information. And then so we can either define it and then write it, or we can write it and then define it. Either way.
Let's go ahead, and we know most of this stuff already. So there's going to be what's Algolia. Let's see, create the Algolia record. So what we want. Oh, hey Alex, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're making a GitHub action today using Algolia for Dev.2's hackathon, which you can also take part in as well.
Cool. And thanks for reading the comments there. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Always nice to have somebody say hi.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to get Algolia issue records. We're not making this too abstracted. Like you made yours pretty abstracted out.
Yeah. No, I feel like this needs to be a little bit more specific.
2 or 3 action issues from Algolia bot index. Blue and a search icon sounds good.
That's if we go in the marketplace. Yeah.
Exactly. And what are our inputs.
We'll still need an app ID and an API key. We
Yep.
could theoretically use a search only one here. So we should probably
True.
change that API key with search permissions, right?
Do we want to do that?
Yeah, I
It's
think,
more
I mean,
okay.
it's more
Because
secure, yeah.
that's another secret that somebody has to put into their repo to use this.
Well, I mean, keep in mind that I think the key that we built has search permissions. It can be the same
It
key.
does.
The
Yeah.
important thing is that it has search permissions. I mean, I wouldn't
Okay.
change that. I would just make it called API key. I would just change the
Okay.
description to say API key with search permissions.
Okay. With I see what you're saying. Yeah. We don't actually
Yeah.
need the one with the right. Yeah. So
Yep. Yep.
okay.
Y
Index
over
name.
index to search.
Index to search. Thanks for thinking about all of that. All right. And then we don't need record anymore. We will
No.
need the issue. The issue
I don't know if
title
I don't think we'll
for
need
the
any.
entire issue.
Oh, yes. We'll need, what will we need? We'll need our search criteria. So what's our search criteria? Or no, should we just search on titles for now?
That's what I was planning on us doing. Yeah.
Yeah, just make it issue title for now. They can submit everything they want to search against as a stringified JSON. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Title from the issue to base search on. And this is required.
Yep.
Right. And the output will be, we'll get two things out of this, right? We'll get the issue, or no, we'll get an array of, we use an array? We'll get some number back, right? We'll get 2 or 3 results back.
So here's the thing. How do we want to stitch this together? What we actually want is we need a string that we can inject into the comment.
It's true, into the comment. Yeah.
So I feel like we should probably do all of that heavy lifting here, and the output should be the body.
Description. A comment body that contains some number of related issues. I should keep this consistent and use single quotes. I'm a horrible human being. There we go.
Do we want to stretch it already and say that an input is the number of issues to get back and have that definable within the action? Or do we want to just default to 2 or 3? 2
well,
to 3?
this isn't, yeah, like, I mean, I like the idea of making it configurable. That's
Here are
cool.
the stretches. Here are the stretches that I'm already thinking of. We can put these on the backlog, but number of issues and of course templatize, right? Like those are the two things that the mature version of this would have, but we can skip that for now.
Okay, let's skip it for now. Let's get something working and then stretch it.
Yeah, because there's so many things we can do around like templatizing the messaging and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I love this is running on Node 12. I'm sure that's like the default that comes out. I think Node's up to like 14 stable right now. But anyway, and then dist index. That's what's going to run. All right. So let's get into so this is not index as in indexing, but index as in the index file of our action.
Yep.
So we are grabbing, we're getting core and Algolia search.
Yep.
And then right now yours is running and it's getting the inputs, which some of these are.
This is again following the Peter Evans model. So what he does is he takes everything and builds that nice little inputs object.
Yeah.
Right. With like kind of all the different pieces that are coming in. And that way you've kind of got them all in one clever little place. What I could have done there is I could have done the validation right there, but instead I just kind of ingested it all.
Sure.
And then you can see what we do. The cool thing we can do there is he's using the core library to just drop out as a debug line all of his inputs, just to reflect them back into the action. So that we can, as we're doing our troubleshooting, we have all of that and we can say, oh, that does not look like an app ID.
Yeah, we got the wrong thing from our inputs or what have you. All right. So
and then this is me validating. Yeah, exactly.
If we don't have these things, we say, hey, one of your Algolia things is missing. We need all these things.
Yep.
core info. This is us saying that we're writing, so we're going to get rid of that.
You can say, yeah.
We need the client. We need the index. This is us initializing the search client and the index there. And then we're not going to save the object.
That's what needs to change.
Where's that try begin? All the way up here? Okay.
Yeah, there's the whole thing's gonna try. It's like a catch-all catch.
Yeah,
so you can see there's another catch inside there just for the Algolia stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
But again, I was using Peter's model. You're more opinionated about JavaScript than I am. I liked his idea of just like, let's put it all in a giant try and catch everything.
I would maybe do stuff differently, but I would do stuff differently after I get a working version, right? Like I do all the stuff, get it working, and then go back and refactor that code. And I think that itself is a good pattern.
Because everything's running containerized or runnerized or whatever they want to call it, it just seemed easy to just like reflect as much back out as possible because you can't step through it.
So we want to do a search. On our index. We do that with query, right? It's been a while. Yeah. And then that is going to accept some number of pieces. This is my favorite. This is actually my absolute favorite part of like doing this sort of thing is I've got, let's see what GitHub Copilot wants us to do. I'm kind of curious. All right. Is that everything?
Wait, you've got Copilot running in VS Code?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
No, Copilot is so awesome for so much stuff. The query is from the inputs issue title, which we're probably going to want to do something about that, but we're going to see what this gets us to begin with. Hits per page. Let's grab 3. And then this is, let's see what's happening. I guess this is a callback on the query object. I need to actually check the docs on this.
And we should probably do a core log, right?
Yes,
absolutely. I think it's a core set fail.
Quick start. I don't want any of this. Let's see.
Oh, I'm on the instant search page. What do you need?
I need the Algolia search JS SDK. So I'm just grabbing that. There we go, our API client. And I want to see the search method and see what is available on it. So we're going to do search index. And that is going to have
search instead of query. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of pulled that to see what I was going to do with it.
Yeah. That seems right. So you search and then the content's a query. That's what might be happening there.
Let's do this from the docs.
Sure.
So search, and then there's a query string, and then you have a set of an object of options. So yeah, search query string then. So let's just do that for now. Oh, that's a lot of stuff that it wants me to do. I don't want to do any of that. All right. So our string is inputs dot, what's it called? Issue title. And then what else do we care about? Then we just do the then, and we're good to go to begin with, right?
Yep.
So then hits is an arrow function. Yes, thank you, GitHub Copilot. I appreciate all your efforts in all of this.
Look at that, core debug hits.
Super handy.
That's impressive.
So yeah,
we don't want to call it hits. We want to call it. Well, yeah, let's just call it. What do we call our output? Something body, comment body.
Comment body.
I forget what we called it. You can look in the
yeah, it's unfortunately
action
closed out. Action comment body.
Yeah. I mean, it's not what we want yet, but it's fine. Oops. We want these things to run self-contained right now anyway.
Yep. And then this is on a catch. We want a catch for this as well.
Set failed. Oh, that is.
I mean, I'm telling you, like I have to Google so much less stuff nowadays. Although sometimes it gets, I don't like the way this is formatted, so kind of have to do my own thing there. But still super handy. in so many ways.
Is there like is there a beautifier, or is there like a standard that you can run
You
this
use
through?
Prettier. Prettier is kind of the
Okay, got
standard
it.
on that.
Got it.
I don't have that set up, and I totally should have it as like a default thing in my VS Code setup, but I don't at all. I don't
Looks
like.
great,
I
though.
get caught off since I've been working in Code Sandbox a lot. I'm more used to when I save things changing, but
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of things jumping out from under me when I'm working on it.
Yeah.
So, in theory, this should work to do some stuff at logging for us, right?
Yes. Yep.
So right now, this is actually, it's its own thing. So I need to make actually rmrf.get checkout.
Wait, you got to build it first.
Well,
Oh wait.
hold
Oh
on.
yeah, you got to check it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. npm run package status. Make sure nothing weird's in here. It's so weird to me not to want to ignore my dist directory. Like that's just typically like when you're using like a CI/CD or something like that. Like ignore it. You don't want that. You want to build, but no, we need it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it was interesting for me because I originally built my action inside a larger, that 11D app that I was building, and I'd already had the dist ignored, so like I had to actually like force it to commit it.
Yep. It doesn't like to do that. All right. New repository. What are we calling this again? Algolia issue search. Create repository. All right. Remote add origin. Origin main. Oh, and then I have to set this up at a, what's that?
I said bum bum bum. I was giving you a fanfare.
Yeah, and then I need to set this up as a version, right? Or I can just use the commit hash, but
yeah, either way.
All right, so that is within.
I actually made the tag locally and then pushed it up.
Okay.
Just because I couldn't figure out an easy way. You can do a release and it'll build a tag for you, but I couldn't figure out a way to just build a tag in GitHub, unless you know how to do that.
It's been a while. I don't
know.
Yeah,
So I just did a git tag.
If you don't know the command for
git space tag space tag name v0 or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And then
you have to commit and push this, right?
You got to push the tag explicitly. So push v0.
This?
Yeah.
What do you mean I don't have permissions?
Git push origin v0.
There we go. Like, what do you mean I don't have permission?
You still have my remote? You might still have my remote on there. Do a git remote.
Git remote. Yeah. No. Because I deleted. No, this was just, there was no origin. The origin was v0.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
No, I deleted the git folder. Just gone.
Gone. No history.
All right. So we have this now.
Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Do a refresh and see if you got a tag now.
Oh, yep. One tag.
There it is. Boom.
Yep. All right. So this is actually what we're going to use. We're going to use the v0 tag. And so our search, we're going to follow the same pattern we followed up here, right? And we're going to use a uses in our steps. So our step becomes search based on issue title. And then uses
and then
vrob / Algolia issue search, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Check. Yep.
You're right.
At v0.
Issue or issues?
Ooh, good question. Issue. It'd be probably more accurate to say issues with an S. But
yeah, but you have an S in there. You might want to take it out.
Oh, I do? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
we don't need to run anymore.
Wrong. Uses cannot be used with run.
You don't need to run anymore.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
No problem. And then we got to give it some stuff.
Yep. So was it input or width?
Width.
That's an object. And so we need these same things.
Yeah, all that.
I feel like there's got to be a better way to do that, but that's neither here nor there.
And then we need
And then
our
instead of a
issue
record,
title.
we need the issue title.
Sorry. Yep.
You're fine.
Do.
And this is
GitHub event. Issue is, and then we got to make it up. Is it issue title?
It's got to be issue title, right?
Yeah.
Well, wait, no, you got it up here. Issue title.
Ah, it is issue title. Yes, of course.
You did the work for us. Yeah, title.
You passed my test.
Oh, I could read above. I could go back and copy and paste with the best of them. All right. Let's see. So we did that. Is there anything else that we're expecting right now?
I think we're good for now. We're not playing with outputs yet.
Yeah.
We just want to see. We want to see the search happen.
Yeah.
Now here's the interesting thing. This is where I get curious.
Yeah.
Because what's going to be the best match for this issue title?
It's a good question. And again,
This
I think there's
issue
something
title.
Yeah. Well,
Which
so
means
we could
yeah. Mm-hmm.
We could say that this was it needs search. Is that how you do that? No, it doesn't like that.
Well, let's not do
that
that
would
yet.
at least okay. All right.
Let's not. But I'm just curious to see what happens. I'm curious to see if it's going to echo back, because we only have what, 2 issues in here now, 3 issues.
Yeah. Yeah, not very many.
Let's see what it does. I'm really curious, because I have a theory that we're going to want to do our search and comment before we add this as a record, so that it doesn't show up in the search.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Otherwise, we'd have to make sure that it doesn't. We'd have to write that code, and who wants to write that code?
Ugh, I'm lazy.
So we'll try to make sure there's a match, right? So Algolia instant search does cool things and has only minor issues. So this is missing a few of the words, but has some words. So we'll submit that, go back to our action, and we want to look in the search. Waiting for hosted runner. You can see comments already finished, which is, no good. Yeah. But
Algolia instant search does cool things and only has minor issues.
Well, this is what it's sending with, but didn't actually log anything for us.
That's interesting.
Why didn't it log anything for us?
Let's go look at our action.
Okay, let's see. So after this, right? Core debug hits. Is inspect a thing? I actually don't know what inspect is, to be honest.
Inspect is a thing, yes.
Where's it coming from, though? Oh,
it's coming from inspect. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep.
But I don't know if we need inspect there. We might not need inspect there. We might need.
Is there like a log function?
Yeah.
I mean, we could just inside of a regular action, you could echo it. Well, let's see. This isn't logging.
That's that beginning. Either. That's that beginning part.
Yeah. Is the ingest doing that at all?
Yeah. If you click on the arrow next to run.
Okay, so here's everything that okay. That's what it's coming with, and then it is logging the stuff that you logged. So let's look at, I mean, the fun thing is it's literally the same base that yours had.
What is the possibility that we're just not getting any results back? And because that happens within the then.
Let's see. I mean, we should still get
at least hits.
That string. That string should still appear in our log.
Why don't you bump it up to info? Core info.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see if maybe we're not getting debug.
Run package. Yeah, debug might not make sense in this context. Are you using, hold on, let's look at what you're doing again. Yeah, you're using .info to show in that area. Yeah. That's exactly what we need. Git commit.
It's just being polite. Everything worked, so why do you need the debug?
Exactly. Git commit changes debug to info. All right. Those hanging out with us, if you do have any questions about what we're working on, do shout them out in chat. We're hoping to, in 45 minutes, have a working version of this, but we'll take the time and talk about whatever questions you have that come up here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and if you don't normally join us, this is something we do a lot of Tuesdays. I wish we could do it every Tuesday. But we often just hang out and chat, talk about kind of interesting things we've seen, interesting things that are going on, cool implementations of search, any of that kind of stuff. So today we're a little heads down, as you can see, but we're still friendly.
Let's see what happens now. Nothing.
Boo.
Boo.
Do you want to just put like a dumb static line in somewhere?
I do. I love doing that, actually.
I'm a big fan of dumb static lines.
Let's put a few in here.
Yeah, because you took out my writing record. Maybe switch it to searching for record just so we can see that too.
Sure. I was going to say hello from inside.search.
Right. Hello from inside. You want to put way at the top before I actually even make my connection there.
Yeah.
Wait, are we doing also, are we doing any sort of try catch on the client connection just to make sure that's working?
On the client connection?
No. I mean, well, it's in the bigger block, so that should be fine.
Yeah. I'm not too worried.
So it's using the same creds.
Yeah. So let's see if we get searching for record, right?
Okay.
Run package, git commit, add static logs. So I'm going to wait and make sure that it pushed correctly and that it's up. Oh, this is still technically a V0. V0 should, we're still on that tag, right?
Oh, it hasn't, the commit's probably not following it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
We should just be using hashes for now until we get this up and ready. Let's use hashes. Good call.
Log. All right. Let's see. And that's going to go into our workflow file. So we do get some overhead on this at this point.
Yeah.
Edit the workflow. All right. And that is where? Here. At that hash.
Yep.
Okay. I suppose I could have made this change locally and pushed it together. Let's try to remember that for our personal workflow as we go forward on this.
Well, it's a catch-22, right? The challenge is you got to do the commit to get the hash.
Yeah. Man, I hate working on this stuff sometimes. It hurts my brain.
Well, this is what I was talking about the other day too, which is we're essentially building the Legos while we're building the model, right? Because we're both building the actions and building the workflow.
Yeah.
Which makes it more challenging. The cool thing is that there are more and more of these building blocks already out there, and it's going to become more and more of just like stitching things together in interesting ways, especially with hackathons like this.
Aha! Look at that.
There we go. Look at that.
So we got itself back.
Nice. Even got our labels array.
Yeah.
And our highlighted results. Cool. That looks like a nice search.
Out of curiosity, okay, we don't even need to be testing in here for this right now. Let's see.
What I think is interesting is why is there only one result?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about, right?
Yeah, because
it finds, like, this is exactly what it wants, right? It finds an exact match. Why would you want to show anything beyond that? And we haven't actually configured much right now.
Yeah.
Do we need anything? No, the ranking sorting can probably stay default right now.
For now. But we might need to change some of the segmenting and decompounding, maybe.
Yeah.
We got in there. Danish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because a lot of, like, obviously German, so it's mostly word breakup, right? It's less.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Yeah, we're always just going to get that. So really, what we want is to break up the title, right? And then search those words, search an array of words as our query.
Is that something under exact match?
Let's see.
Disable exact match on attributes. Relevance optimization. See what that does.
Yeah. Oh, it's still saving. I'm like, why is this still showing like this? It's because the index is still updating with the new configuration, which I'm impatient. So I'm going to hit the button. Just search React. I mean, we're doing our best to return the most relevant result, right? It just so happens that there's one that matches both these things at the same time. Let's see. I'm just thinking things through right now.
We're so proud of ourselves for finding the best match.
Yeah. Which, hey, I mean, it's true. So, yeah, I feel like there's got to be something where we need a broader scope than just the title as it stands, right? So when we get like React does, we get two results because there are two results that have the words does and React in them. They're in different orders, which makes sense.
The exact ranking criterion counts the number of exact matches. What kind of adjustments can you make considering exact on single word queries, disabling exact on some attributes, which we did.
Yep.
Changing the default meaning of exact, we don't want to do. What we want to do is we want to get more. We want to get more results, even though it's not exact.
Yeah. Interestingly, it didn't disable exact match on attributes.
Oh.
I don't know why. Maybe because I got impatient and reloaded the page.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That time it's
again.
saved.
Let's see. Let's see if that makes a difference.
All right. So let's. Nope. I mean, we can also put in some things to like make sure that we short circuit the action if we don't get enough results back, right? But obviously we want there to be more results. We want it to be fuzzier, right? Like there's a fuzziness that we need.
Well, the nice thing about this being Algolia, right, is that we could just keep coding with our single result, and then you can go tweak, the rankings and the relevance and all of that through this, like at any time afterwards. So
yeah, let's make sure that that by the end of the next 30 minutes, right, that we are commenting, right? We need to pass this as output. We are getting at least a hit back, and right now it just happens to be that is the identical match, and we'll figure that out. Let's go ahead and pass that back. So we need to set up outputs, and you have done this, right?
I have,
and it's in what we're basing it off of, right?
Yeah. So it's a combination of what we see. Yeah, the code part of it is right here.
So we need to build text. I'm kind of wondering if we can send Markdown to it, to be honest, but I don't know.
Well, spoiler, I think you've got a set output your
Yeah.
Copilot actually added it already, right?
Oh, true.
Look at
That
that.
is true.
So we've actually got something that we can write already, which is
Yeah.
good.
But what we actually want to do is we want to construct something.
We
right?
should probably build a more interesting message. Now,
Comments to message. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the order here is kind of irrelevant. We could either drop this into a comment for now, just as ugly as it is, or we can try and tweak the message first.
I want to tweak the message.
Do it,
I
man.
can't help it. I want to.
Do it. I'm going to take a drink of water while you compose.
We don't need to actually say the input title. We'll say matching your issue. And then,
This is just a little creepy.
isn't it though? Hits .map. Up. Okay,
you should make it a link, dude. You've got the URL.
I'm about to get there. I just wanted to see what it was going to give me. Yeah, so let's see. We're going to take this, and here's where I'm hoping, right, that we get Markdown, because otherwise we'll make this much harder. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the Markdown for this. That. Sure, we'll keep that in there. That's fine. And then we're joining on a new line.
When I was reading Peter's documentation for his comment maker, he did mention that you can use templates in Markdown. So there are opportunities there. And that might be something that we can think about too, right? Is that if he supports templating in his action, we could maybe just piggyback off of that rather than having to reinvent the wheel here.
True.
But let's start with this.
Yeah, let's just see what this gives us. And that means we need...
Oh, why don't you do that to the core info as well, so that we can see it in the...
Where's that? Core info?
Yeah, just bring it down.
Okay, yeah. Here.
Yeah.
That, right? Okay.
Yep.
Git commit, adds message output. And then we need git log.
You gotta...
that.
Yeah. Did you rebuild?
No.
Yeah.
npm.
I've been burned. That's why.
I know. I appreciate it. It's good to have.
Now you got to check it out again. You got to push it again.
Yeah. Adds packaged files. And then git log. We need this, and this is going to go in our other thing, right? So git push.
Do you ever amend?
Enforce push? Not often.
I will confess that when I started dealing with all of these, having to explicitly push the hash out,
an
amend and a force push makes life a little easier. I shouldn't admit that publicly, but boy, just re-pushing commits to the same hash.
Oh, true. That would, yeah. All right. Shouldn't have to change anything else. Like eventually we'll use that output in our comment. But for now, we'll see what we get. Adds log for output of MD message.
MD.
Markdown.
Ah, cool. So out of context.
Instant search. Purposely putting that typo in there too.
Yeah.
Action. Search. What's going to go first? Which will get a runner first? Commented. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to have happen, right? We comment before we find anything.
Fantastic.
Wow. Come on, action runners.
I need to build more cloud.
Yeah. You're a Microsoft Azure company now, GitHub. Come on. I just get bored. I'm like, let me navigate, see if that helps. Wow. This is riveting stuff here.
This feels like the bad old days of did you use a lot of the Travis stuff when they had the Travis integrations?
Early on.
And then
And then I was like, this is a pain. I'm not going to do this for a while.
Well,
I used Travis a little bit, used CodeShip a little bit.
well, the built-in Travis integration was just like so easy that it was just really easy to use it for builds. But then like it got to the point where just you were waiting forever for an opportunity. I'm wondering, curious what the GitHub action approach is here.
Sorry, I'm just navigating again. Just work for me. That's all I want you to do. Just run it.
So interesting.
Yeah, this is I mean, it has found runners really quickly for us. There's been no issues like this.
39, 40 seconds ago. Do you want to start stitch together our workflow while we wait for those?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. That's a good idea. View workflow file. All right. So
we actually got to
our
think about our
workflow file needs to
dependencies
change.
now.
What's that?
Yeah. We got to think about our dependencies now. What order do we want these to happen in?
So for now, let's keep the ingest first so that we actually do get at least one, right? I know that's not actually what we want, but so that means that
comment needs
search, search needs index.
Yes.
All right. So needs, and this is called search, right?
I think needs is at a job level.
Maybe not.
Ooh, I'm trying to remember. Let me see.
I was in steps. I didn't mean to be in steps. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I thought I was in the job level.
Yeah.
So comment needs search. Search needs ingest. Is that what we called it? Yeah.
No. Yes.
No? For now.
Search needs ingest. Yes. Sorry.
And then we have to define our the outputs, right? And get the outputs and the inputs.
That's right.
All right. So search has an output.
And I think the first thing that we realized about doing outputs and inputs is that we need IDs for steps. That was kind of the linchpin.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So this will be ID of
spoiler alert, we kind of ran through some of the workflowy parts of this ahead of time just so that we could kind of understand how it all fits together.
We had so we'd have a little bit more information on how to make this work.
And that said, the way that we kind of are doing this, it's very job heavy. We're relying a lot on job context. It feels a little clunky. Don't know if that means that the actions themselves are clunky or it's just the way we were implementing. So if there's a cleaner way to do this, please let us know.
Yeah. All right. So the output, you have an output, right?
Yeah, the output, it's a key value pair. So what we want to call it. So this is for our ingest. Do we want the object ID output here?
Oh wait, this is for search, right? All we want for search. I actually don't want ingest to have an output, right? There's
you don't need that object ID. It's just the issue ID. So so yeah, the output here is message body, or whatever we want to call it.
And then that is the context.
It's you have to grab it from the steps, and then the step ID.
One dot output dot
outputs
whatever
plural.
We called it.
Yeah, outputs plural.
Outputs plural. Okay.
And then comment body. Yep. And then that takes the output from the step and pushes it up to the job level, so that it can be consumed by another job.
So this is us. Something. Hold on. Unknown key output.
Outputs again there. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Outputs everywhere.
Nope.
Really? It's at the job level.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Outputs comment body from step one, the output of the step one. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
and we're specifying the output inside of our JavaScript code.
Yep. So the action has an output with it that carries up to the step.
Yep.
And then this is taking that output from the step and carrying it up to the job so that the next job can hopefully ingest it.
Yep. And so that means the width, the body of the width is the output from that, right? So we want
And that's our needs context.
needs dot search at the ID from the job.
Yeah, exactly. The other job.
Outputs
Mhm.
comment body.
Yep.
Make sure I get the right. Yeah. Snake case. Okay.
So the needs context is a special context you get as you serialize your actions.
Yep.
Remember, previously they were running in parallel. Now we've serialized them into a bit of a snake.
Order and outputs. Let's see if our action finally finished.
Hey,
It did.
It did. Cool.
Search.
No hits though. See if it wrote.
With how long that took. Oh, I bet ingest took even longer. So because we didn't have that workflow ordering.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
How many seconds did it say? 4 minutes ago
4
and
minutes,
3 seconds.
3 seconds. 5 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's what
ingest
happened.
happened after, which is.
But still, it should have found a record, right? The next one.
Well, we can test that, right?
Yeah.
Here's the issue title.
Okay.
And again, things we can figure out inside of our. Yeah, it only finds itself.
Yeah. Which happened after the fact.
I think it's got to be that we have to pass it like an array of strings or something. But
yeah,
we can figure that out once we get a comment up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, we should have that now, right?
New we've got it all stitched together. Did we? And we said, okay, yeah, put the body in the body.
Submit. So now it should serialize. So we should actually get a different. Oop,
what do we do?
Workflow is not valid.
Line 37, unexpected symbol. Oh, you don't need to stringify your one. You can just use it as a bare string. Cause YAML.
No, that I didn't.
It's in your object. It's your object ID, I bet.
Workflow file. I like how now it's like showing even more. So edit
37.
37. See?
Oh.
Steps.
That's because. Do we need? I feel like the quotes could be causing the issue.
Yeah, but it wouldn't let me not do the quotes.
Really?
Yeah. See, it needs to be a string. Expected found.
Oh, because you called it a number. Why don't you call it ONE? And then call it ONE.
I swear, I thought Peter Evans had the numeral 1. I really
He might have. He might have.
But Peter Evans has made more GitHub actions than we have, so he's allowed. Just 1, 2, 1.
He also might not have been using the visual editor.
True, but I feel like the visual editor should only error when there are errors.
Agreed.
All right.
And we're changing our workflow so we don't have to mess with our hash for now.
Issue. Back into our actions. No immediate error this time. And you can see now they are serialized.
Mm-hmm.
So one follows the next. So we wait for search.
It goes ingest.
Okay.
Ingested. Happy.
We're going into search now. Can you hear my cat?
That's your cat?
Yeah.
That is an unhappy cat.
No, that's just what she does. She wanders around and does that every once in a while.
Is she by any chance deaf?
She is very old and yes, probably partially deaf.
My cat, when my cat went deaf, I feel like they just like the feel of making the noise.
Well, and she's always been louder. She's a tiny cat. She was most of her life 6 pounds. She's like 7 pounds now. And she's always been incredibly loud. But she has been louder in the past like year and a half. And like we can like whisper her name from across the room and she doesn't hear it. And then if we like, say it loudly enough, we're getting hit with the issues again here. finding.
It must be like peak build time.
I was about to say it must be like everyone is doing something like this right now.
Yeah, all the West Coasties have come back from lunch and they're pushing all their commits.
Unacceptable. Well, let's reset what we're talking about today for anyone that is just joining us. We are taking part in the Dev.2 Actions Hackathon 21, which is a GitHub Actions hackathon hosted by the Practical Dev. And we are building a theoretical maintainer must-have action where we're going to take issues, ingest them into an Algolia index, and then when a new issue is created, do searches against that and find related issues and leave an immediate comment on an issue that says, hey, you might be wondering about these things while you wait for a maintainer to get back with you. Why don't you check out these possibly similar issues like you would see in like a Zendesk or in some sort of bug management tool. That's still the old one. We're still waiting.
Trying to think. So what's left? Yeah, I was going to say what's what left on our list, just to make sure if we want to go back to our plan here.
So really, once this happens, and again, if the markdown works, that's one of the things that we're not sure about right now, whether or not that. Oh, did we update the hash after we pushed the markdown?
I don't think we did. Double check. You can
no, because look, I don't have Git log open anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, we had to package it. Did I? All right, Git status. Okay, that's all clean.
What do you have in your flow?
Oh yeah, I suppose I could actually just copy and paste again just to make sure, right? That, and then workflow file. Oh, look, as soon as I start doing meaningful work, we find one. We find an action runner. Let's see. Here's that hash. Yeah, same hash. We're good.
Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the changes we've been making most recently have been to the workflow itself.
Yeah.
So the hash shouldn't have been. Hey.
It did leave a comment.
Look at that.
But there's no message here, which disturbs me a little bit. But let's see what we get.
Hey.
Yeah. Something didn't get pushed up to the repository because this is what it was supposed to do before. But that's good. Look, I mean, we are populating a comment. Good on us.
Yeah. Cool.
So where? Oh, look. No, that's package.json. Message is supposed to be all of this. Its status. Oh,
interesting. Up to date.
Not up to date anymore. There's a space in there. GitHub adds testing space. Push.
You gotta leave space for testing.
Exactly.
New hash.
So then back in our workflow. Actually, let's go code, workflows. All right. Start commit, updates hash. All right. 15 minutes. I want a real comment in 15 minutes.
We can get there. We're so close.
We are so close. The only thing that's going to hang us up is GitHub Action images. React issue that will receive a comment. Although, yeah, no, we're serializing, so it should be fine. Okay. Come on. There we go. All right. This is going a little faster than the last time. Well, ingest happened pretty fast, but I said that way too soon. But yeah, in terms of what we actually have left, it's figuring out our proper search context, right? So that we're not depending on that. We want the search to be better. And then after that, we're actually kind of done. As soon as we get that properly.
Yeah, then it's just a matter of like tweaking the results, cleaning it up.
Okay, here's a lot of space in there, but this is the message. And the message has the ID and then theoretically markdown for that. Theoretically.
See what it looks like here.
Well, that's interesting. Why do you want that to be code? Why is that a code block, do you think?
Let's see. Let's look at that output again. Is it just trying to be smart?
Where was that? I can't imagine. Search based on issue title. I mean, there's an awful lot of space happening there. So here's the beginning of our message.
It says because Alex is saying it's because he thinks it's the indent is treating as a code block because of the indent. Ooh.
Okay, possible. I like where your head's at on that.
Because of the
so that would bring this in. Let's just get rid of that object ID. I don't even want that object ID, to be honest. The template literal here, though, that's what I'm returning out of this mapping, out of this map function. That shouldn't be inside of what we get out of it. But I do like the idea of the indent. The indent does seem to be causing an issue. In fact, let's simplify this even harder. Okay, and core info message is still going to get us what we want there. And let's double check that. Like we got all those lines. We have an extra layer of indent, which Alex mentioned. I think that is likely our issue. But yeah, there's no template literals in the string that comes back from our action. All right, so we got to go through our packaging dance. npm run package. And we're going to, but obviously Markdown is working, right? Because we got that. In fact, let's even double check, right? We'll put some additional mark. Actually, let's make I don't know, something like this. npm run package, git commit, adjust markdown for indent level, push log. Totally should be amending, I suppose. That would make our life a lot easier.
It's a bad habit to get into.
It's not good.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
That car needs a new muffler.
Oh, is that on your end?
Yeah.
All right. Start commit. Updates hash. All right. New issue. React keyword with better comment markdown. To our actions. Uh-oh. Why isn't our action running? I mean, I think the found hits should start at the first character of the line. Sure. We'll see what we get out of this one. I feel like you might be right on that. All right. But it's indented again. Didn't want it to be indented.
Well, he's saying that if you like put it right next to your tick, or I guess there, yeah, like try that.
Get rid of white space. Although, so it looks like it is respecting white space. So I don't need these new lines. do need the new line on this just for testing purposes. And then git add it's white space again, push git log. The typing gets more frantic as we come closer to the end of our time. All right, back into code. Again, I need to leave this code open. Issues, edit, hash. I'm completely shameless sometimes with these commit messages too. Oh no! Oh. Okay. Double check this got changed. All right, start commit. Okay, cool. Leave that open. Let's go back to issues.
Okay, and I've got our answer to our other issue.
Oh, to which other issue?
To our search issue.
Oh, okay, excellent. Let's see if we get a runner. And then, so what's the answer on that one?
Are you familiar with similar query as opposed to query?
I am not overly familiar with that.
Do a search in the Algolia. Well, let's see what this does first. Similar query, all one word. There it is.
Still running. Okay, so this just goes in. This is
So
a method on Algolia search.
It's a different payload. So rather than putting a query payload, you do a similar query payload, and it'll search across multiple attributes. But the idea is that you're looking for similar things. So it'll return. It doesn't just find the most specific result. It'll return similar results.
Okay, so this becomes an object where we pass in similar query as a parameter on the object.
Right. So instead of doing a query parameter, you do a similar query parameter.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah, let me make sure that's right.
Let me check our output real fast.
Oh wait, you got to do. Oh, here. This is how you do it.
Yeah, send it to me over here, and I'll
drop it right in the chat here.
Okay.
So it's not exactly that.
Well, we got some new markdown, but this is still coming through as code, and it's still being indented. Hold on. We can.
I wonder if you just take that line and just put it right up next to the backtick, what would happen?
The first line?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is the first line is working.
Oh, okay. Oh,
but
I see.
Hold on. Like, I don't want to do this because this is terrible looking.
Yeah, I know.
Right? But like, hold on. Oops. And then we map that, and we do a new line at the end of each of those. And
save make that. A UL. And I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. So okay, let me look at.
So you actually have to leave the query.
I like how
blank.
You posted it in the actual chat too.
Yeah, I thought that way other people can see it there.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is, you can see it's leaving a blank query, and then it's using this. Boy, we're strong here. It's using this parameters object.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is the syntax that we'll want. All right. Git commit.
I'm just imagining our dear friend Sarah watching this part and going, "Oh,
Sarah
gentlemen."
would be so upset with us." Yeah. And updates down again. Git push. This is going to work. This is going to be great. It's going to be great. Let's see. Edit this again. Okay. All right. I'm feeling it, Chuck.
I'm feeling good. Feeling good, Brian.
React Instant Search is doing something for us. Actions. Ingest. Again, ingest shouldn't be, it should actually be our last. If similar query works, we'll move ingest to be our last step so that we don't get duplication.
That makes sense.
Now we're into search. We're still only finding one. And we're still getting all this. Something's not right. Something's not.
Is it hash issue again? Or did you catch the hash issue?
I updated. Oh.
Did you build?
Me. npm run package.
Yes. This was getting me. This is when we start Russian. This is where the pre-commit hooks come in so handy.
Exactly. That's why you always start with like a boilerplate that has all that stuff built in. Git push, git log.
We're getting so close.
Let's see. We're gonna get this up and running. It is going to work no matter what. I mean, no matter what until 20 minutes after the hour when I have to walk down the street and pick up my child. But it is going. We're gonna get there. Okay. I just want to see this part work because I feel like it does a bunch of stuff. Let's do the new package. React Instant Search is for keywords to do a search on. All right, here we go. Fingers crossed. I know this is going to work this time. It's going to do everything that we dreamed of it doing.
Beautiful.
Writing record. Record's written. Excellent. Good job. First step. You've been the workhorse of this live coding session. Ingest. You've done great.
Our indexes looked so full.
This is still getting everything the same.
After you did the build and the commit, you updated the hash?
I
looked away for a second.
All right, well, I have to see this run over here. Just yeah. Okay.
It looks the same.
Code, workflows, hash.
Is it B or B34 or 634? Yeah.
B34. But it's exactly the same. It's the exact same stuff, right? Like there's been no change in the output that we get. Neither this nor our message are changing.
Right. So something is not picking up the latest version. You built when you committed the dist. You committed everything.
Yeah. I just changed that npm run package. Well, this will change one little thing and hopefully send us off. Git commit. New line count. Don't try this at home. This is definitely not the way to be doing this. All right. Start commit. It's hash. Okay. All right.
We're going long.
Yeah, just a few minutes long.
Although we've technically only been live for an hour 58, so we've actually got.
True. Does it count if we're late starting? All right, Ingest, keep doing what you do. You're doing great. I believe in you.
Wonderful.
Search,
Ingest.
shape it up. Search, comment. I know. I can't blame you for much of this. It's not your fault. You know what the issue is. Search is specifically written by me.
Well,
That's the issue.
The other thing to keep in mind.
Oh,
ooh, look at that!
multiple
We got
issues.
more hits. That's good.
We have too many hits.
We've got a lot of issues.
Okay, and that all looks like I want it to. Did this just work?
Let's see. Ish. Look at that, Brian. Look at that. That is a beautiful thing. Click through. Click through. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay, now let's go look.
Oh, look, for that's even cool too, right? Like,
yeah,
because it's all interlinked. GitHub knows these things. That's cool.
Let's
cool.
try. What's a word that's like not really in there, like stuff or minor?
What? Oh, you want a new issue?
Yeah, let's do one with just like
I want to do two quick things.
Oh, sure.
So, let's make these bullet points. I think that's bullet points in Markdown. And then we were saying something before. We need to limit, right? What's the way we're going to limit this? I can do a slice. Is there something that in the API that gets?
Oh yeah, let's do it in the API.
Back?
Hang on, let me look at that because we're already building an object here. Oh, thanks, Alex. Is this open source? Yeah, everything we're doing today, My World Ecom, is we'll have these repos available publicly. Eventually, I would love to at least get some of it up in the marketplace itself.
Yep.
But all of these repos, you'll see they're split between B-Rob and myself right now, and we will absolutely be doing some sort of blog post on this as well. So all of this code, feel free to grab, feel free to use. We tend to do everything under MIT license.
Yep. Although right now there aren't licenses on the repos yet, but there will be.
Mine has an MIT license.
Okay. Well, then mine does.
You forked it. You should have. Yeah, you've got an MIT license.
Exactly. Perfect. Good job, Chuck. Way to go.
Thank you. I'm a good member of the community here. Okay, so but we were looking at that object. We want to dial in our number of hits.
Yep.
And I believe that's actually we might not even need an object for that. That might just be straight up an index search. Let me see. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking the other direction.
Yeah, I can hear you. I assume those in chat can hear you too. But
hits per page? No, that's not what we want.
I mean, we had that earlier, but I deleted it at one point just to get it out of here. But
yeah, let me do the search parameters. Hang on. Here we go.
Yep.
Attributes, ranking, filtering, faceting, highlighting, pagination, typos, geosearch, personalization, advanced. Speaking of kids, mine have come home. You would think I would know how to limit these. Boy, it's like one thing or the other, right? Feast or famine.
I just did it in JavaScript. We'll be okay for now. Git commit max slice of 3 and bullets. Git push. Git log. Go into our work. Oh, it's a completely different directory. I forgot about that. Then we go into the code again here, change our workflow hash, edit. All right, here it is. Start commit. Did I package this?
No. Good question.
No way I packaged it. No. Git commit m packages it. All right, going too fast now. Git push and git log. That. Paste that in here. Start commit. Yeah, and this is all like intended to be, as we said before, like open source, but also be something that is actually of use to maintainers as well. So hoping that will be friendly and Python.
Yeah, we'll polish this up a little bit. The things that like again, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants here. So the other actions that we sort of based ours on have some really good housekeeping actions on them around like dependency handling and testing. We just want to make sure, like, absolutely go grab them out of our repos, go build off them, do. But we would love to get them into the marketplace, and to put them in the marketplace, we want to make sure that there's something that are going to be stable enough to use in a real GitHub pipeline workflow.
Oh, lots of things just happened, and I don't think my slice actually worked.
Ooh.
Yeah, my slice definitely didn't work. Anyway. Oh yeah, we're running into whatever the hash issue is from before. Like, I packaged it, grabbed the hash, put the hash in our workflow, and we're still kind of running into that. But
yeah,
are
you running?
We can go in.
Nothing.
Let's see. I've run into this before doing GitHub Actions, where it doesn't pick up something right away. Oh, it actually grabs a cache. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something in here. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Wasn't around the hash.
No, it was. Oh, I want to change the needs, because I don't want this. Yeah,
the ingest
ingesting. Yeah.
Okay.
So
now
this is going
lots
to
and lots of records.
Needs comment, and then this no longer needs ingest. Search is now our first. It's order of jobs. All right. So now updates order of jobs is here. And then new issue, testing order of jobs, keywords like React and actions. Search, comment, ingest. So at least it picked that up.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 2 minutes before we need to shut the stream down. I'm gonna get some links real fast while this runs. If you're curious about the overall search bot, it lives here. If you are curious about Chuck's add Algolia record action, it lives here in chat. And we're using Peter Evans' excellent creator update comment for our commenting functionality. That lives here. And something just not right there. Yeah, not getting the bullets, so yeah, something's not. We got Twitch spam happening, which makes me sad, but I'll take care of that later. Because I don't think anyone is watching us on Twitch right now. So yeah, I was kind of a speed run at the end, but we have something working. Finding things for React and Python. So we've got React and we've got Python with React. We can probably go in and tweak some stuff around the ordering inside of our index, but
yeah,
might have to definitely spin this back up too.
Yeah, we can definitely reduce the number of hits there. I would love to play with the templating that's built into Peter's commenting to try and like maybe polish it up there and use what's sort of already built. I'm almost wondering if maybe some of that was coming from him. Like maybe it could be that the commenter itself is actually kind of taking some stuff on its own. But yeah, I think we've got all the pieces here. And I definitely want to keep pursuing this, and I definitely want to get some of these out in the marketplace for sure.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, that's just neat. Like, what? Oh, I'm highlighting. Like, I'm still sharing my screen, but it's neat. Thanks for the sub, my world econ. Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're gonna be again streaming more and more on both YouTube and on Twitch. So be sure to sub and follow us wherever you can. Follow us on Twitter at Algolia. We announced there, but also on our personals, which you can find at the bottom of our screen. And yeah, if you have any questions from today's stream, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter. That'll be great. And yeah, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us for a couple hours and asking questions along the way.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. And yeah, please do follow us on Twitter. We're definitely going to be chatting about this and polishing it there. And that's where the final results will appear until we can get something a little bit more formal out there in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it'll end up on Dev too.
Oh yeah, definitely has to go there if we want to be entered in the hackathon. So it'll be there as well.
I want my stickers.
I want my stickers too. All right. See y'all next
See you,
time.
Brian. See you later, guys.